Hi there. It's January 26th and time for Proverbs 26 on our 17th time through. All right. We're still in the Solomon's Proverbs that King Hezekiah's men copied down, right, of the 3,000 that he wrote. Some of them we've heard Solomon say, and there may be some new ones in here. Right? Okay. Like snow in summer or rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a fool. Right? Not unseemly for a fool, it says in our 1599 version. Right. Honor is not fitting for a fool. Mm-hmm. Like a sparrow in its flitting, like a swallow in its flying, a curse that is causeless does not alight. Right? Or won't land, or won't come home. Somebody curses you for no reason, it won't do anything. Right? Okay. 3, a whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the backs of fools. See my dog there? Okay, now these next two seem to say the same thing, and I struggled with these for a while, right? Because they directly contradicts each other in the way they are, right? Even in the old one. 4 says, answer not a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself, according to his foolishness, right? And 5 says, answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes. So which is it, right? Most time fools are speaking, right? And they're speaking, and you're best off just to keep your mouth shut. I'm not going to, don't feed into that, okay? Don't feed into his foolishness if he's saying something, stupid or something like that. But, yeah. But, answer him according to his foolishness, lest he be wise in his own conceit. Stop. Eyes. Right. Reprove him as the matter requireth. And this one says, consent not unto him in his doings, and reprove him in the matter as the matter requires. Okay? If he's saying something against God, leading other people astray, yes, you need to step in and answer him according to his foolishness, okay? According to his folly. This usually involves wit, all right? Satire, being satirical, answering them in their own foolishness, right? They talk about the Big Bang. You say, so you believe in nothing, okay? Nothing created everything, okay? You believe nothing created everything, and out of nothing came something, and something from nothing, and I believe God created everything, okay? That's where we're different. You can believe in nothing, I will believe in everything, so, or similar, okay? It's just interesting two verses that they put them right next to each other, right? Okay, 6, whoever sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his own feet and drinks violence. Right. I've never sent a message by the hand of a fool. And back then they didn't have telephones, they didn't have internet, they didn't have computers, they didn't even have mail, okay? They would just write messages and send them by somebody, a courier that we call them now, but they would, take this over to so and so. And if you trust a fool for that errand, might as well not send it, right? Okay, 7. Like a lame man's legs which hang useless is a proverb in the mouth of fools. Okay? Fools won't listen to this, okay? They won't listen to anything. No. 8. Like one who binds a stone in a sling is one who gives honor to a fool. This whole thing's about foolish people, isn't it? Right? Doesn't do any good, does it? 9. Like a thorn that goes up into the hand of a drunkard is a proverb in the mouth of fools. More fools. It's all about fools, fools, fools. Right? 10. It's going to keep going, you know. Like an archer who wounds everyone is one who hires a passing fool or a drunkard. Right. Or a passerby. Right. Somebody shooting indiscriminately. Yeah? Like a dog that returns to his vomit is a fool who repeats his foolishness. Right? They must have had a lot of fools back then, right? A lot now, too. But 12, do you see a man who's wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Now remember, they just got done talking about all the things that fools are useless for anything, right? This one's important. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? Hmm? Now this is weird. I just noticed this up in 10. Like an archer who wounds everyone is a drunkard who hires passing fool or drunkard. Over here, the excellent that formed all things both rewarded the fool and rewarded the transgressors. Completely different verse, right? That's very interesting, huh? Let's look that up over here. 26:10. I have my, I don't know if you can see it here or not. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it here. I'm going to look up 26. An analog Bible here. And this is an old Bible. So this is, and it's 4 versions. I have the New Living Translation, New International Version, New King James Version, and the King James Version here. So we will. And 10, like an archer who wounds at random. That's New International. An employer who hires a fool is like an archer who shoots recklessly. Okay, now in the New King James Version, and in the King James, it says, the great God who formed everything gives the fool his hire and the transgressor his wages. So, King James, which is a Catholic Bible, agrees with the 1599, excellent that formed all things. And the other modern ones all say this. Do you see, man? No. Archer who wounds everyone is one who hires a passing fool or drunkard. We're going to have to do some research into that, right? Okay. Let's see which one's which. Why would they change it? I don't know. Okay. There was obviously different Hebrew. I mean, the scribes of the, after Jesus, there were monasteries, and all they did was make copies of the scriptures. Okay, copies and copies and copies. Way back in the 1st century, and most of our versions come from translating these copies. So there may have been different copies. It's just interesting that it says 2 totally different things, and I will look into that. Okay, we were on 12. Do you see him unwise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. Okay, all this talk about how fools are absolutely useless. Somebody who is conceited or arrogant or prideful, there is more hope for a fool than for those kind of people. Somebody who thinks they know it all. And that's a big statement. Okay, that is a big statement. Okay, we've read this before, like twice, I think, in Solomon's writings. Right? The sluggard says, there's a lion in the road, there's a lion in the streets. Yeah, I may be killed if I go out there. Any excuse, right? Any excuse. 14, as the door turns on his hinges, so does a sluggard on his bed. Right? The lazy person. Right? Lazy people and fools. They talk about them a lot here. The door just hangs on its hinges. It just moves. It never goes anywhere, right? It just goes back and forth. Like the sluggard. Okay, now we've gone from fools to lazy people, okay? The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, it wears him out to bring it back to his mouth. Imagine being that lazy. The sluggard is wise in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Lazy people think they're very, very smart. Right? Okay, these are highlighted, aren't they? Whoever meddles in a quarrel not his own is like one who takes a passing dog by the ears. You want to get chewed up, right? Stay out of other people's arguments, okay? Stay out of other people's arguments, okay? Now, if someone is beating a woman, okay, that's some things you need to step in. But people just arguing, stay out of that, okay? Especially if it's a couple arguing, you know? Because whichever one you side with, the other one's going to attack you and stop attacking their partner, all right? It's okay for them to attack him, but you better not, right? So just don't meddle in a quarrel that's not your own, okay? Not my circus, not my monkeys, right? 18 and 19, like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is the man who deceives his neighbor and says, I'm only joking, okay? And this is very important. I always highlight this and talk about it. Don't joke around at somebody else's expense, okay? If you're trying to, you say something, you cut somebody down to get a laugh out of the group, okay? That's like shooting firebrands, shooting indiscriminately, killing somebody. Words hurt, okay? Words never go away, so don't say them in the first place, okay? I was only joking. No, you weren't. It's important. 20, for lack of wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no whisperer, quarreling ceases. Right? Gossip. More gossip. We all know how I feel about gossip at this point, right? Very, very much against gossip, tale telling, getting into other people's business, right? For lack of wood, the fire goes out, right? And where there is no whisperer, gossiper, busybody, quarreling ceases. Okay? Just like magic. 21, as charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a quarrelsome man for kindling strife. Right? You notice it says quarrelsome or contentious man here, right? Usually they talk about wives, but this time it's the man. All right? And some people just like to argue. Okay, some people will argue at anything you say. Okay, you could say the sky is blue, and they will find a reason to argue with you. Okay, well, it's not the sky. It's this. It's this. It's this. It's this. They just got to argue. Okay, like charcoal, the hot embers. They like to argue. Okay, it's more about 20 and 22 go together. The words of a whisperer are like delicious morsels that go down into the inner parts of the body. The gossip, people that spread rumors, gossip. This is a drug. It is a $1 trillion industry. If you add up all the ways that people gossip, okay? Social media, television, news, okay? It's our job to know what our government and our representatives are doing, okay? It is not our job to know what somebody's doing, okay? Oh, this person did this, and oh, this person did this, and it's none of your business, okay? That's a gossip, right? And it's a drug. Hard to get off of that. Reality television is nothing but drama and gossip, okay? Better off if you turn your TV off, okay? Just turn it off. 23, like the glaze covering an earthen vessel, are fervent lips with an evil heart. Right. Revocalization. That's interesting, huh? Yeah. Earthen vessels, clay, is just, they're very pretty and shiny, and they have beautiful pictures on them. But inside, what is it? What's clay made out of? Dirt. That's just dirt, okay? Fervent lips with an evil heart. You don't have a pure heart. Okay? Well, a lot of people like that too. Fake people. Okay, 24, 25, and 26 looks like it goes together. Whoever hates disguises himself with his lips and harbors deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred be covered with deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. Right? Ever seen somebody that is, your discernment and the Holy Spirit tells you this is an evil person, but they're being nice and they're being gracious and they're being generous, and there's evil in there, and they are, they're scheming. They call them schemers, is what Solomon called them, right? And they will be exposed. Okay, sooner or later, their wickedness is found out. Okay. 27, whoever digs a pit will fall into it, and a stone will come back on him who starts it rolling, right? Don't try to trap other people. It'll come back and trap you. Happens. Okay, 28, a lying tongue hates his victims, and a flattering mouth works ruin, right? Liars, okay? Liars. People that stroke somebody else's ego just for their own gain, right? So there you go. That's 26. Highlighted quite a bit of stuff in here. These two, do your own research. There's plenty of talks on these two verses, okay? If you look 26, 4, and 5, okay? I think Chuck Swindoll is one of my favorites, and he has a very good, answer to this. Answer not a fool. Don't answer a fool according to his folly, lest you be like him yourself. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own eyes, or conceited. Okay? Like I said, it depends a lot on what they're saying, okay? If they're just talking stupid, just walk away, okay? Don't buy into that stuff, okay? But if they're not, you have to answer them according to their foolishness, okay? Like I said, you believe nothing made everything. Okay? How is that possible? Okay? By believing in nothing, you believe in something. Okay? I believe in God. And you're more doing that for the people around that he's talking to, okay? To make him look foolish, to show what kind of fool he really is for saying those things. Okay? And 10, and I don't know why oh yeah, it's different. That's why I highlighted this. Okay? The newer Bibles, the ESV, the New International Version, New American Standard, they all say this: like an archer who wounds everyone is one who hires a passing fool or drunkard. The older versions, okay, this version on the right was written in 1599. It's a Geneva Bible. And when King James wrote the Catholic Bible, he outlawed this Bible, which was one of the reasons that our founding fathers left. They brought this Bible, and they came over. They didn't want to read his King James because it wasn't the same, okay? And it says, the excellent that formed all things both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth the transgressors. Okay. It rains on the evil and the good. And I will do some research on that verse. And I'll let you know tomorrow what I find out. 12 is highlighted. Do you see a man wise in his own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for him. And they just got done talking in all these verses and all the other verses how useless a fool was. Okay? If you're prideful, conceited, arrogant, there is more hope for a fool than there is for you. And there is no hope for a fool. Okay? That's a big statement. Okay? Good reason to be humble. Okay? 17 is highlighted. Whoever meddles in a quarrel not his own is like one who takes a passing dog by the ears. Right? Stay out of other people's business. Stay out of other people's fights. You're just going to get hit. Okay, 18 and 19. Very important to me anyways. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death is a man who deceives his neighbor and says, I am only joking. Okay? You don't do that. I really hate these stand-up comedians, okay? They'll get in a room full of people, and they'll pick out one person and just tear him apart, Just rip him apart. And everybody's laughing at him. He goes, just kidding, dude. Just doing it for a laugh. But that person's hurt, okay? I don't think that's nice. I don't see the reasoning behind doing that kind of stuff. Just to inflate your own ego. at somebody else's expense. It's just, why do people even think that way? Bullies are like that. Okay? 20, for lack of wood, a fire goes out, and where there is no gossiper, whisperer, quarreling ceases. Okay? Mind your own business. Okay? Mind your own business. Okay? Okay, 22, the words of a whisperer, gossip, are like delicious morsels that go down to the inner parts of the body. Okay? You can get addicted to gossip and rumors and reality television and social media. And it gets down in there and you gotta have more, right? Getting into business that's not your own. And people listen to gossip to make themselves feel, well, thank goodness I'm not like that, right? It's a way of not looking at your own problems, okay? 23 is highlighted, like the glaze covering an earthen vessel are fervent lips with an evil heart, right? Burning lips with an evil heart, it says over here. Burning lips, right? The glaze is pretty. What's underneath it? Dirt, okay? Clay is made out of dirt. And 24, 5, and 6 go together. Whoever hates disguises himself with his lips. Okay? They tell lies and harbors deceit in his heart. Right? When he speaks graciously, don't believe him. For there are 7 abominations in his heart. Though his hatred be covered with deception, his wickedness will be exposed in the assembly. And these guys, sooner or later, are found out. Okay? So, there's 26. Okay, lots of good stuff in there, and stuff you need to look up, like this 10. It's interesting that it's completely different in the later version than it is in the older versions, okay? And who knows, right? I mean, we can look at the New American Standard. This is a newer one. I like the older versions, but so yeah, there's a 1995 version. There's 10 saying here. Yeah, see? And even the New American Standard, which a lot of it was taken from the King James, has like an archer who wounds everyone. Or a master workman produces all things, but he who hires a fool is like one who hires a passerby. See, now this says, or a master workman produces all things, like God. But he who hires a fool is like one who hires those who pass by. Kind of says both in there, isn't it? That's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. There are another Bibles in here. Some of the classic ones. We're looking for word Bibles. Okay, no. Holman, that's a good one. One of my favorites. One who hires a fool or passing by is like an archer who wounds everyone. Okay, that's most of them, except for a few. That seems to be the accepted one. But which one is true? I don't know. Now you can see in the New King James in here. I don't usually read the New King James. Here it is. Now it'll say something similar, okay? The great God who formed everything gives the fool his hire and the transgressor his wages. That agrees with the 1599. So which is it? There are probably versions that say both, or an expanded version of them, like the New American Standard said. Says both things. So, and there's a lot of Bibles in here. In this particular site, there are a lot of stuff. But I still use I keep my paper Bible over here. And I have lots of them. You should buy lots of paper Bibles. Right? Because they can change stuff on the internet. They can change words around. They can change things. And you won't know they changed it. But if you get an original printed Bible, like this one here, you can see I have it right here. They can't change that, okay? And the older, Bibles from the 80s, before 2000, okay? Now, the Christian Standard Bible is a later, it came out in 1743, actually. It's one of the oldest Bibles. Holman Publishing, who published it, is the oldest publisher in America. Okay, they opened in 1743, and that was one of their first publications, was the Christian Standard Bible. So that's a good one. Okay, they redid it in 2000, I think 9 or something. But a lot of the new translations have gone woke now. Okay, which thankfully we're starting to get away from that. But they took, some of them even went as far as to take the gender away from God Himself. Okay. And it says not to change the Bible. It's, all over the Bible. It says, do not change it. It will come back on you. Okay. So, but I do a lot of research before I use a Bible, where it came from, what it's doing. Certain Bibles I won't read because of what they do. So, that's 2060. Tune later today. We are through the New Testament in a year. I think we're doing Matthew 16 or 17 today. I see. 17. Matthew 17, the whole chapter. So, and it's your transfiguration. This is good stuff. So stay tuned for that. Give us a like if you think about it. But until later, we'll continue. See you then.